California's Gold is produced in association with KCET Los Angeles and is seen statewide on California Public Television. This series is endorsed by the California Teachers Association, the California School Boards Association, and the California Library Association.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell, and here we are at the beach. And a beautiful beach day it is too. You know, our state has so many miles of spectacular coastline and so many beautiful beaches. Beaches that are not only fun to visit, but are full of California history. And that's what this adventure is all about. And what makes it so much fun is that both the places we're going to visit, it's totally spontaneous. We didn't plan any of it. We were just driving down the coast, spotted something going on at the beach, pulled over and did a story on it. So if you're curious as to where we went and what beach adventures we had, you're invited to join us. Just put on your swim trunks and come along as we spend the day at the beach in search of California's gold.
California, here I come, right back where I started from, where bowers of flowers bloom in the spring. Each morning at dawn and birdies sing at everything.
It was quintessential California. Commercial abalone harvesting. It was big business, along with taking them for personal consumption. Abalone were so plentiful up and down our coast, we took them for granted. There were literally millions of them, a seemingly inexhaustible supply. And having a meal of fresh abalone was just part of being a Californian. Of course, that's all changed now. The glory days of abalone are gone, thanks to pollution, over-harvesting, and those cute but pesky little otters. But recently, up on our coast, north of San Francisco in Mendocino County, we stopped quite by accident at a beautiful beach and ended up having an experience that, as far as abalone is concerned, literally took us back in time.
This is one of those impromptu stops. We were heading down Highway 1 south out of Mendocino, and we looked over and we saw this beautiful beach out here. We pulled over and found out this is Van Dam State Beach. You got to be careful when you say that. You could get into trouble. Definitely. And we just ran into this whole group. This is one family, right?
Right.
Introduce everybody to me.
My name is Mark, and this is my brother-in-law Bart, my daughter Sarah.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
My wife Charlotte.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
To Suzanne, who is my son's girlfriend.
Nice to meet you. And your son's name?
Is Tony.
We got to introduce him.
Sorry.
He's bigger than I am. All right, now you all are from Tracy, California,
That's true.
which is where compared to here?
Nowhere near here. It's Central Valley, about 4.5 hours from here.
So you all drive over from Tracy to what, cool off and go to the beach?
That's true, and have been since the kids were small, actually.
And this is an unbelievable beach right here.
This is a beautiful
always
beach.
This beautiful?
No, not always. It's usually foggy and waves crashing. But today is a special day. It's a beautiful day.
Boy, it is. Yeah. And we spotted you all over here. Actually, you spotted us.
That's true.
And we started talking, and here is what you wanted to show us.
That's
now,
right.
Let's talk a little bit about what we're looking at right here.
Yeah, these are abalone. Rare in the south, but still very plentiful in the north.
Let's pull these things up so we
Sure.
can see them. Look at the size.
And that's a small one.
Really?
Yeah, let's see if we can.
So you all come over here and dive. How do you get the abalone?
You have to free dive. They don't allow you to do it with tanks. So we have to hold our breath, and we swim down 15 to 20 feet, and you hunt along the bottom, and you use an abalone iron.
Oh my gosh, how does this work?
And you pop them off the rocks. Well, they're very, you know,
They suction down very
what?
tight. They suction down very tight to the rock, so you only really have one attempt. So you want to sneak up on them and measure them, and then get your iron underneath them and pop it back and pop them off the rock.
How do you sneak up on an abalone? I mean, I wouldn't think they're going to be going anywhere very fast, are
You'd
they?
be surprised how fast they can suck down.
Really?
It's really fast, so you don't want to touch them while you measure them.
Is this still
And
alive?
he is. He'll suck onto your hand.
Because
Wow.
also what they'll do is they'll measure light. So if there's a shadow that's coming, even without even touching them, if there's a shadow, you'll actually see them sometimes move and they clamp down.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never seen, I guess it's because we're from Southern California and there are no abalone
Very
down there.
few left,
There's
yeah.
some out on the Channel Islands,
That's
but
about
I'm
it.
not sure whether that's, what's the limit here? Each person gets 3, isn't it?
As of this year, it's 3, with a maximum of 24 per season.
And do they enforce that pretty
Oh,
strongly?
Yes, very strongly.
So there's somebody here to check you when you come out.
Absolutely.
We saw a ranger earlier this morning.
Now look at you've got a whole bag full of them. These are some of the biggest abalone I think I have ever seen.
And Tony saw some that were much bigger. He had wished he had waited to take his.
Yeah, I saw one that was probably 10 inches at least.
You're
At least, yeah.
kidding.
Yep.
Now, where are they in relationship to here?
They're
How far
in
out did you have to go?
Not,
large rock.
yeah, right up there.
We were
Right there.
We were just this side of that large rock.
So is this area particularly
Oh,
known for abalone?
This whole coastline, but this area is a breeding ground. Yeah.
Now, what are you going to do with the abalone now that you got them?
Well, you do pop them out of their shell. There's a little bit of intestines on there that you just scrape away, and then everything else is meat.
Now, don't you have to pound them?
You do. And so first what you do is you take off all the frillies, you just cut all that off with a really sharp knife.
This is
you pop
heavy,
them out,
too.
and it's all meat, because of course there's no
A
bone.
few pounds of meat from each one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and you slice it thin, and then you pound them with a meat tenderizer.
So who's going to cook this up?
We'll all
Who's
cook
the
it.
abalone cook here?
Mom.
Really?
Oh yeah, everything she goes into her skillet comes out great.
Because, you know, this is what we had heard used to happen all the time on the beaches of California. People would come to the beach, go out and get the abalone. I'd heard they would do it with a tire iron
Yes.
sometimes.
They did used to use that, and then they didn't measure them either. So now we have very strict enforcements. They have to be 7 inches wide, and you have to measure them. And once you pop them off, you can't put them back for a new one if you find one bigger. You
Yeah.
have to keep what you get.
Hold up that instrument again that you had. Where
Yeah,
is that
Mark has
knife? Boy, look at this thing.
So you can see that it has to be larger than our caliper.
Uh-huh. That
So-
protects the little ones.
Right. Exactly. And you can see that this is plenty big. That's 7 inches, so this is over 8.
Is this specifically designed just for abalone?
It's an abalone iron, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is so interesting. I am going to remember this for so long, mainly because it's going to take me weeks to get the smell off my hand.
But it is delicious eating. It's really, really good.
Yeah, it's just that I think most Californians, this is something out of their reach. It's
Exactly,
not
'cause you
something
can't buy
most
it at
of
the
us can
grocery
do.
Store. No, you can't buy it at the store.
You have to come out and dive for it.
You do, on a single breath. That's all you get. Hold your breath, and you got to find them and locate them and take them.
Wow.
So,
Well, we're glad we met up with this hearty family here. They did it all on a single breath. I'm going to share this smell with all of you right here. Nice to meet you. The name of the family again?
Is the Gibbons family.
The Gibbons family from Tracy, California, here on the coast of Northern California, getting ready to enjoy an abalone feast directly from underneath our ocean.
that's it.
Nice to meet you all. Have a great day. We're cooking up abalone. We were ready to leave the beach and we saw this going on over here. What's happening over here?
We have about 100 people on the beach
Look at this.
with about 30 divers who've all gotten abalone. We've taken them and cleaned them and pounded them, and now we're cooking them.
Now, this is the way it used to be in California, isn't it? I've heard these stories about these abalone cookouts on the beach.
This is our 23rd year.
Really?
Every August, we just get together. We're from a dive shop that used to be in San Francisco.
Where are you now?
We're all over the state.
So people know to come here to this beach on this
Exactly.
weekend?
Every year at this time, we plan for the next year.
It's like a New England clam bake, and we've just flipped coasts.
Well, this is great. Now, is all of this fresh from today? Or?
It was crawling around about 2 hours ago.
Really? And I hear there's a lot of it out there.
I don't know. I only found 3.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
And they were all over 7 inches.
Can you hold one up for us and let us just see what one... Now, that's been pounded out, right?
Yes, it has.
And who did the pounding?
All the guests.
So everybody pounds their own abalone
Right,
out, cleans it out.
have pounders that were made from French wine barrels.
Uh-huh. And then you just cook them up? And you just serve them
And
up
it's
right
potluck
here.
from there.
That's the critter before we get a hold of it.
Oh yeah, there's the shell right there. And do you know all these people, or is everybody welcome? Or?
I don't admit to that. There's several. There's Gary, there's Big, there's Steve, there's Roland, myself, who've been doing it since my first daughter was born.
And what is the appeal of abalone, of doing this with abalone?
It's the appeal of getting everybody together and having a good time.
Yeah.
We've been doing
And
this
just
for
enjoying
23
it.
years.
What?
We've been doing this for 23 years, and
Yeah.
there's people I only see once a year here, and they're my dearest friends.
Yeah.
It's like summer camp when you were a kid. You had that special friend. We just keep it going.
We have some people loaded down with abalone. Now, this has been going on, they tell us, for over 20 years.
Yes, exactly. Next year is going to be the 25th, I understand.
Now, how many years have you been connected with all
This
of
is
them?
the 4th year, and we come every year, and you have to make your reservation in February if you want to stay at the campground. I shouldn't have told you that.
It's the 10th, about the 10th year for my wife and I. Our friend Steve, who you talked to, is one of the founders of the group, and we book up the hotel a year in advance to make sure we have a room. So
Now, is it the abalone? Is it the camaraderie? What is it?
Well, I think it's everything, and the last 2 years, it's been the weather.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So it's very special.
Are you an abalone eater?
and the odd whale. Did you see the whale earlier on that went by?
No.
Now and again we see whales coming by. We saw one about an hour ago.
So this is just a neat place to hang
It
out.
is a wonderful place, absolutely.
Plus,
And the same.
abalone looks pretty good.
Want a
too.
bite?
I'm gonna get some in just a minute. It looks great.
It's wonderful,
and
tender.
You don't really get it anywhere else, do you?
Not as fresh as this.
Yeah.
Well, some friends of mine went out to dinner the other night, and there was abalone on the menu, and it was $68. So, you know, what have I got here? 150 bucks
Size
worth?
of a silver dollar.
What?
They give you about 3 medallions about the size of a silver dollar.
For $68.
It's a lot easier going out and getting it,
And
man.
what we got? $200
Yeah.
worth right here. Yeah!
Party time.
What a magical afternoon. Thank you for allowing us to share it with
Thank you for
Your
coming
name
by.
again?
Jay,
Nice to meet you.
grab a
Look
plate
at
and
this.
have some dinner.
We will. Look at this. It doesn't get any better or more California than this. Out here on the beach on a sunny afternoon in August. This is California at its best. Now, who knows exactly when it started? But it seems like it's been a part of the California landscape forever. In fact, back in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, those men and women and boys and girls with their longboards and their beach lifestyle pretty much said California. Today, that surfing tradition and lifestyle continues all up and down our entire California coast. But nowhere is it stronger and more popular than Huntington Beach. In fact, it's called Surf City. And it was there, right next to their famous pier, we met up with some hardcore surfers of all ages. Well, here we are at the Huntington Beach Pier, and look who we've hooked up with quite by accident, totally by accident. You came over and introduced yourself. Introduce yourself to everybody else.
I'm Don Monson.
Okay, and you're a local, how do you describe who you are?
Just a local surfer.
Well, tell us what you told us about this group of young people right here.
Well, this is our future young surfers in this area. And the older guys like to support the younger surfers because we can recognize talent over the years. We've surfed quite a number of breaks. And so we support the young kids that surf right here in our Huntington Beach area.
So you all surf right here?
Yeah.
Well, tell me about this area right here. Is this one of the best places to surf in Southern California?
Yeah, to me.
Yeah, it is. Tell us how you support them.
Well, this is their local break, and these young men right here, it's their time to grow and get better in the water. And as crowded as it gets out here, you know, these guys still get their share of waves because the older guys will always let up for the younger guys, especially when they're local talent like this, and it just stands out.
So is that part of the etiquette to let the surf rats come in and have their shot at it?
You know, the term they use for these guys is groms or grommets, and that means a little or young surfer. And in Hawaii, they call them minahunis, but here they're our groms, and we're proud of them. They're highly talented, and they're just climbing up the ladder real quick.
Now, how do you work with them? How do you work with these guys every day?
Well, the trick is to make sure that these guys get plenty of waves no matter how crowded it is out there. So there's occasions where we'll block for them and make sure that people that are out there, you know, not taking too many waves at one time and making sure that it's a fair spread of, you know, activity out there.
Now, we're going to see a little bit of surfing this morning. You're going to surf for us, you're going to surf for us, you're going to surf for us. These guys have to leave. Why?
Well, they're going somewhere else to catch some more waves. They're on a mission. This is what it's all about. Summertime in California, you got to chase the best waves wherever they are, and if the tide changes and the waves are better somewhere else, then they're on their way over there.
So you all have already surfed here this morning, right?
Yeah.
And now where are you going?
We're going down to San Onofre.
So you're going, what is how?
South.
South of here. Now, how do you know the waves are going to be better down there?
Because as we're going, it's going to be a little more high tide. There's 2 swells hitting, and it's just smashing in Huntington and everywhere. So.
Wow. Now, how old are you?
13.
And when did you start surfing?
Last year.
So you're fairly new at this.
Sort of. I already got my fair share of stuff. I already got my sponsors, and
oh my gosh,
just picked it up fast.
So you're already getting sponsors at 13?
Well, you want to sponsor these guys as quickly as you can before somebody swoops them up.
So there's the deal. These guys could be household names here in another few years.
They are already. These young guys already are who we watch for on the internet, and we're proud as heck of these guys. You can see their sponsorships on their surfboards.
The Sugar Shack, yours is, have you gotten sponsored yet?
Not yet.
Well, we need to get you a sponsor. How do you go out looking for a sponsor?
Do contests.
Through contests. And how old are you?
14.
And you started when?
Not even a year ago.
Wow. So you pick it up, is it the kind of thing you can pick up pretty quickly?
Yeah, if you surf every day.
Yeah, and I have a feeling the two of you all surf every day, don't you?
Yeah.
All right, well, you're heading off to San Onofre. Nice to meet you all. They're heading off. You all are staying, right? Your name is?
Chance.
Nice to meet you, Chance.
I'm Tyler.
Tyler.
Kyle.
And Kyle. Now, are these pretty good surfers right over here?
Oh boy, these guys are up and coming right now, and they're going to be running the show here in no time. That's why we want to stay on their good side now while we can get the chance.
All right, let's see y'all. Can you all just go on out in the water now?
Sure.
Let's walk down here with them. We got 4 of them going here. So is there a time of day that the younger kids come out?
You know, these young guys can surf all day long. It seems like they have an endless source of energy, and that's something that us older guys really envy.
Well, now, you all used to have energy, didn't you?
Yeah, well, we had to pass the torch along, and there it goes right there.
Yeah. You were surfing here years ago.
Yes, I was. I used to live in Pico Rivera and used to hitchhike. My mom didn't know it, but 4 o'clock in the morning, I'd hitchhike down Lakewood Boulevard to get here.
You would sneak off to come down here surfing?
Well, she thought I was going with somebody else's mom, and we'd get down here and get back in time and try to play it safe so we wouldn't get hurt or anything.
So this is kind of an intergenerational thing that's been going on for a long time, watching these kids start off and work their way up.
That's correct. They're just a lot of energy. They really want to do it. They're really focused. That's all they can think about right now, except for their schooling. The NSSA, the program that they surf in, demands that they get a certain grade point average, so it's conducive to promoting their
keep the grades up.
Yes.
Because I tell you what, going to school here in Huntington Beach, the call of the surf would be pretty strong, wouldn't it?
It's pretty distracting.
Now, this is their area, right?
This is their area. We've dubbed it the Kiddie Bowl, and it's almost...
The Kiddie Bowl?
The Kiddie Bowl. And that's where these kids sit, and this is almost their... They've claimed this spot. It's theirs. It belongs to them. And any waves that come through there, well, they all call out, are you going right or are you going left? And they share the waves, and sometimes they even double up on the waves.
There's surfers everywhere. What's your name?
My name's Chris.
Now, shouldn't you be out there surfing, or have you already been out here for 4 or 5 hours?
No, I just got off of the bus because me and my buddy, we just love surfing, so it's just a career. I want to become pro. I'm out here every day.
Where do you ride in from? Where are you from?
Huntington Beach.
So you just come in from on the local bus?
Yeah.
And how much time do you spend here every day?
About 4 to 5 hours.
Really? So and this isn't just play, this is work, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a hard sport because you really have to try, and you have to it's kind of like lifting weights because you have to push up. So it's a really fun sport though. I love it.
Now you've got a little board here. Have you ever tried one of those big long boards yet?
No way. I don't want to.
See, that's all this guy probably ever used, right?
Yeah, we used the longboards first, but we went through the transition of shortboards, and now we ride probably both. I still ride both boards.
Well, shouldn't you be out there?
Yeah, I'm gonna go out in a little bit.
Well, head on out. We're getting shots right now. We might get you on TV. It's amazing how sophisticated they are in their thinking about this whole thing.
Well, these young men are dedicated, and they have such a respect for the ocean and the beach, and it's something that they carry through their whole life. And it's so impressive how they learn all these things about hydrodynamics. They know all about how the fins work and the shapes of the boards. And these boards that they ride are custom made for these young guys within an eighth of an inch. It has to be that
Let's get
perfect.
that board up. What are you talking about, custom made?
Well,
how's your board custom made?
Well, it's custom made because it's perfect for me, and I ordered it. So it's a board that my dad ordered.
Well, what happens when you grow 4 inches this year?
Well, then I just buy another board.
And how do you get money to do this? Do you have a job somehow or another?
No, my dad, he's really into surfing, and he's the one who's been buying me all these boards.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I gotta get me a board because he's been buying me all kinds of boards. I have 3 boards now.
Wow.
So, yeah, and then I just got my other board that I hit someone. It's in the shop right now.
So your dad's a surfer too?
Yeah.
Y'all ever surf together?
Yeah, we surf all the time. We're out here every day doing it.
Well, head on in the water. There are so many great stories out here. Everywhere we go, there are great surfing stories.
Most of these young surfers are second generation. Their fathers surfed, and even some of them are third generation. Their fathers surfed. So they're shooed into this break right here. And this is a crowded break, so it really takes a lot of talent to surf here. And these kids provide that. They're a great show. We go on the pier after we're done and watch these guys, and vicariously we live through them and enjoy ourselves in the water even when we're on the pier.
So the surfing tradition here at Huntington Beach continues. It's as strong as it ever was in those early days.
This is something that it's a lifestyle. It's not a sport, it's not a hobby, it's who these people are. And it's, they don't just surf and that's the end of it. The rest of their day, they're thinking about where they're gonna surf tomorrow or the waves they caught today. And, when you see a kid walking around up there in the parking lot with a grin on his face, he got some good waves.
Well, we have left our surfer friends at Huntington Beach, and now we're standing by these beautiful big bluffs here at Torrey Pines State Beach in San Diego County. And again, this is one of those spontaneous stories that just kind of happened by accident. We were traveling down Highway 1, which of course is right up next to the coast, and we looked over here at the water, and the water here has kind of a reddish brown tinge to it. That piqued our interest, so we pulled over, hooked up with Ranger Gary Olson here at Torrey Pines. And Gary, what in the world is going on with the color of this water here at your beach?
Well, right now we're experiencing a phenomenon called the red tide.
Red tide. Now, what is red tide? It sounds very menacing.
Well, the red tide is a naturally occurring process in which the diaflagellants in the water actually multiply in great numbers.
That's a big word. Diaflagellants?
Diaflagellants.
Uh-huh.
And basically they're living organisms that are in the water at all times. And right now, with the water temperature at 70 degrees, they're starting to multiply in great numbers.
And it makes the water, it gives the water this kind of an icky, green, red, blah kind of a color.
Yeah, it's something that the public always is interested in. And in addition to the weird color that you see now, it also has some very positive qualities, because if you come out at night, the diaflagellants are actually bioluminescent. So as the waves crash in the dark, they actually light up in this beautiful blue-white color, and it runs the entire length of the wave as it crashes.
Now, is it safe? Obviously it is to go in this. There's nothing wrong with the water with all this going on, is there?
The water is completely safe. This is a natural occurrence. The diaflagellants are constantly in the water. So it's just right now that there's a lot more parts per million than there normally is.
And how long will this last?
We never know how long it's going to last.
Weeks, months?
Most of the time it sticks around for several weeks, and last year it actually stayed for about 3 months.
Really? And could this happen anywhere in California?
It's mostly related to the weather conditions, and as the water gets closer to 70 degrees, the particular diaflagellants really start to multiply.
So it's not going to happen up north because it doesn't get to 70 degrees in the water up there?
Not unless something happens with the water temperature up there to raise it quite a bit.
Wow, thank you very much. Let's just end by walking into, you'll have to stay here because you got your shoes on. I can go in here and actually stand in the middle of all of this. We've had a wonderful adventure. We've seen the abalone up north, we've seen the surfers at Huntington Beach, and we're ending up with the red tide here at Torrey Pines. All of these things found here right on our California beaches, and all three of them, even the red tide, fine examples of California's gold. Goodbye, everybody. I'm walking out into the red tide.
California, here I come, right back where I started from, where bowers of flowers bloom in the spring. Each morning at dawn and birdies sing, and everything the sun-kissed missus said, don't be late, that's why I can hardly wait. Open up your golden gate, California, here I come. California, here I come, right back where I started from, where bowers of flowers bloom in the spring. Each morning at dawn and birdies sing, and everything the sun-kissed missing, don't be late, that's why I can hardly wait. Open up your golden gate, California, here I come.
Well, hello everybody, I'm Huell Hauser, and I sure hope you enjoyed this adventure. If you'd like to see it again or share it with your family or friends, or perhaps donate a copy to your local school or library, it's available on video cassette and on DVD. All you have to do is call 1-800-266-5727, and we'll be glad to send it to you right away.